Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be looking at surface area and volume of composite objects. To begin, a composite object is one that you can kind of see two other shapes or two separate shapes that have been kind of put together to make one object. And so in this particular shape you can see that there is perhaps you think of it a couple different ways. You have one large rectangular prism and a small cube has been taken out of it, or perhaps you have a rectangular prism that runs this way and then a 5 by 5 by 20 rectangular prism, and then attached to that is a 15 by 5 by 5 rectangular prism. So it's more than one shape put together. We're also going to be looking at solving for surface area and volume of a shape like this. This is a little bit of review in a sense. We worked on this a lot last year, so this should be somewhat familiar. That being said, let's get started. So I've gone ahead and done out all of the calculations here, and we're going to go ahead and just explain each step, and then at the end we'll add them all together. So first surface area, we're going to be looking at these calculations, and so I'll explain where each one comes from so that we're all on the same page. So 5 by 5 by 3 is the surface area of, it says RS here, I'm indicating that that's the right side. So we have 5 by 5 square, if you can see the cursor here, 5 by 5 square, and there is 1, 2, 3 of those squares. I know the height because that's implemented over here. So we have 1, 2, 3 of those squares. So we have 5 by 5 multiplied by the 3 squares. So that's 5 by 5 by 3. Okay, next up we have the left side. So we have this kind of left side that is hidden here. So it kind of runs all the way along here and then up. So we know up is 5 centimeters. That's this here. And then how far does it run all the way along the back to this point? Well, that is a run of, well, we know here's 5 and here's 5, so that's a run of 10. So we have 5 by 10, so 5 by 10, and then there's just one of those, so that's the left side. Okay, next up we have 15 by 5 by 3. Okay, so 15 by 5 is indicating the front, the bottom, and the top. So the front is this face here. So this is a 15 by 5. And I'm going to count that happens 3 times. Okay, so the front face is the first time. And then that exact same shape is present on, I guess, the front half of the bottom, if that makes sense. So you have the front here, and then underneath you have the front half of the bottom, so that's this here. And then you kind of have the front half of the top. It's kind of easy to see. Oh, skipped ahead there. Yeah, it's kind of easy to see if you were kind of going to segment just down the middle here of the top. So that's the front, the bottom, and the top. Next up, you have 20. That's this length here, multiplied by 5, also multiplied by 3. So the first one is this top part, and then in the back is another 20 by 5, and then on the bottom of this shape is another 20 by 5. So that's 20 times 5, and there's 3 of them. So that accounts for every part of the surface here. So now all we have to do is add them all up, and you can try that on your own. 5 by 5 by 3 is 75. Then you have 5 by 10, that's 50. So plus 50 plus so you have 75. So here's 75, here's 50, so add those together and you have 125, and then you have add 135, and that's going to give you 260, and then you're going to add 300 to that, so altogether you have 560 for your surface area, 560 centimeters squared. Okay, next up we want to look at the volume of the shape, and there's two different ways you can do this. I've highlighted them here. So the first is 15 by 5 by 5, so that's this front rectangular prism, 15 by 5, so 15 by 5 by the height of 5 as well. So that's the front rectangular prism, and then you can add in the back rectangular prism, which would be 20 times 5 times 5. And so all together, 20 times 5 times 5 plus 15 by 5 by 5 gives you 875 cubic centimeters. Now the alternative is 20 times 5 times 10, and then you subtract 5 by 5 by 5. So the way you can think about this is 20 times 5 times 10, well, that's 20 multiplied by the 5, that's the height, and then the 10 is this length here. So that's kind of like the whole shape, and then you take away from it a 5 by 5 cube that has been taken out of that whole shape. I hope that makes sense. That should be everything you need to know to be able to solve a surface area or volume question.